Hey guys, today I wanted to give my quick thoughts on this new book that dropped this week. This is the new history of the DC universe, the Dakota incident. And this book is a one shot. It is kind of like a spin off. You can also call it a spin off of the new history of the DC universe that was done by Mark Waid. That featured a retconning and a retelling of the entire history of the DC universe. So includes all the crises like your Infinite Crisis, your Final Crisis, and he told all of the history, and he condensed it into like 4 issues. Which was an amazing read. Like, if you want to find out, if you're new to DC, you don't know anything about DC, and you were like finding out, those are the books like I recommend you to read in order to figure out like the entire history in just 4 issues. So this one does something similar, but just for the Milestone universe. So what is Milestone universe? So Milestone was an imprint that was created by a bunch of African American creators, mostly spearheaded by Dwayne McDuffie, the legendary Dwayne McDuffie, in 1993. And the idea was to get more black creators and more, black characters into like the mainstream media of comic books, and get some more black superheroes also there. So they are not owned by DC Comics. They are a separate imprint, but DC publishes them because they bought the distribution and the publishing rights for Milestone. And the main characters for Milestone have been like, so this is Icon. He's like a black Superman, but he's existed like for hundreds of years on planet Earth. Then his sidekick is Rocket, and then you've got Hardware, who's like your Iron Man kind of type character. And their biggest, obviously, a character is this one is Static, who also has a TV show, and that was very popular in the 90s, written by, of course, Dwayne McDuffie. So, but then what is this book about, right? So that's the basic gist of Milestone. So DC has done a lot of like relaunches of it, like the 30th anniversary, they did Milestone Reborn again. They bought these characters. They've been like, crunching them and giving them like, their due. But so what is this book about, right? So this is, like I said, is a one shot. So why is it called the Dakota incident? Because everything is the Milestone universe is set in basically this fictional city called the Dakota City, right? So it's kind of like Detroit, but yeah, it's its own thing. So that's why it's called the Dakota incident. So what this book is basically about is it's chronicling a certain period of time within the Dakota City and what went down, right? So I'm not going to give you too much spoilers on this, but essentially what happens is there are a lot of heroes, superheroes and superpowered entities, beings that are being like that have suddenly started to spawn in the Dakota City. So basically what happens is your Lex Luthor is the president of the United States at this point, and that's President Luthor for you. And he tells Amanda Waller to like, send in the military and Task Force X to contain these unregistered and unregulated superheroes. Kind of like what happens in like Marvel Civil War, right? So you get like the Suicide Squad, you've got your Bronze Tiger, you've got your Deadshot, you've got your Captain Boomerang, and a lot of the military people who enter Dakota City, and they're at war with the superheroes there. So those are basically your Static and your Icon and Rocket and Hardware and all these guys, right? So they're fighting, but then the city is like obviously suffering because of this. So obviously in comes the Justice League, right? So and then obviously there is a deal that is made that is crucial to the story, and what happens to the future of these superheroes in the Dakota City. That is what is being explored in this, right? And something huge happens, and because of which there are repercussions throughout time, and how the repercussions affected. That's what the book is all about, right? Totally. And it's been written by a lot of creators. So you've got like a bunch of creators here, like the ones I know, because they're like 3 acts. There is like a prologue and an epilogue. The art is by several people. The ones I know are Carlo Pagula and Stefan Segovia, who do the pencils, and Stephanie Williams is one of the writers like I'm familiar with. So yeah, this is so that's what the whole thing is. Justice League also steps in, like I said. So there is a civil war. The heroes of Dakota City are clashing with the military and the Suicide Squad, and the Justice League have to step in order to save the day. And and again, something crucial happens, and that's really fun to read, but overall I love the artwork on this because there's so many creators on this. I love the action. There's a lot of action in it, and it's amazing what one can do with a single issue. a single issue storytelling, and this kind of reminded me of why I fell in love with these milestone characters like in the first place. So there's also some controversy associated with this book. So they say that if this book doesn't sell well, then there won't be any more of the milestone. DC won't do any more of the milestone stuff, right? So at the moment, there's a lack of black characters within DC, so there's like a little bit of controversy there. So the thing is that they said that if the sales on this book are good, then they might again reinvest in the milestone universe, which they do like time and again. They've brought back the milestone books again on the 30th anniversary, like I said before. But anyway, so if you want to buy this, if you want to support this, then please go ahead and do it. I would still say that just do it for the good story, right? Even if you don't care about the controversy or anything of that. I thought that this is probably my pick of the week. I probably give it like a 5 out of 5. I know I've reviewed like Dork and at the same time White Sky before on this channel, and then I gave them like 3 out of 5. But this one is a 5 out of 5 because I really like the characters. I knew some of the characters. I was very big fan of Static and Hardware. Icon and Rocket, I knew of them. I've read like a couple of stories, but I've not like read all of it. But Static is like their main guy, right? So that's Virgil. He's got electric powers. Just like a lot of these black superheroes, all of them have like electric powers for some reason. Black Lightning, electric powers. Storm, electric powers. This guy Virgil, Static, electric powers. So yeah, I don't know. It's a thing. So, but anyway, again, Milestone Universe is done by Reginald Hudlin, who did like a great Black Panther run. So if you've not read that, I'm a huge fan of him. And of course, Dennis Cowan, who's done the Question. His Question work is like the best thing ever. If you've not read that, I would recommend those guys. But they essentially are doing this. They are the owners of Milestone now. Because obviously the Dwayne McDuffie passed away. And Dwayne McDuffie has done also like a great Deathlock series. If you've not read that, read that. That is also good. So these guys are like top tier creators in the African American community, and they wanted to like, create their own universe. But that's where the Milestone comes in. So guys, I thoroughly recommend this. Check it out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.